how many persons would be able to purchase the home after we've built them. And so that's what we'll be doing in Andros, both North and South Andros and Central. And once we've completed that, then we'll begin designing the program to affordable housing. So it'll be a hybrid as well, because I know some persons in the Family Islands still like to build their own homes. And so it'll definitely be a hybrid model in Andros just as well as it is in the other Family Islands.
Minister Colby Davis summed up her ministry's plans for persons seeking homes in the Family Islands in very encouraging terms.
So it's going to be exciting days for the Family Islands, because I think many of them always saw affordable home programs by governments as Nassau-centric. And I spoke to that quite a lot in my budget, that I make sure that persons understand that the Family Islands is really a part of the plan, and we're strongly pushing towards making sure that we transfer those dreams into realities.
Also speaking with our team about his recent budget communication was Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture, the Honorable Mario Boleg, who spoke about the impact his ministry expects to have in the coming fiscal year.
First of all, once I got the appointment to sit in that chair, I understand that the most important assets of a country for the future development is your youth. And so everything we did focus on empowering the youth. And so when you look at the youth element of my ministry, you know, we have programs in there that address at-risk youths or youths that would have were marginalized or for some reason just failed in their high school career. And we've had programs that allow them to get that second chance, you know, that fresh start, to give them a whole new mindset, you know, to be able to be employable and gain the necessary skills that would make them employable. And then we also know what the impact that sports can do for a country, how it displays discipline, you know, molds characters of individuals. And you look at myself and other members who are in Parliament and or even former leaders of this country, you can all see that they all sports would have played an important role in the development of their character of who they are today. And, you know, of course, the culture is identify who we are as a people. It helps us to identify from whence we came and where we are today. And the part of that we must preserve and you know, so for identity for the future youths coming. And so when you look at my budget speech, we look at 10% increase across the board for all those youth organizations, understanding that they are an extended arm of the ministry that helps divert kids from the life of crime and help mold the characters of those individuals. You know, the only way, again, I could say our future can remain bright if we continue to empower and invest inside our youths.
And that is all for this week. Thank you for joining us. I'm Joy Burns-Roger. Good evening.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Coming up in the news, the nation's education system said to be in a state of emergency. The government summer employment program kicking off today. And taxi drivers welcoming the move to restructure the system. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening all, I'm Ramiko Knowles. Thank you so much for tuning in. Topping the news, the nation's education system is currently in a state of emergency. This according to the Education Minister, Glenys Hannah Martin, who was the keynote speaker at the Bahamas Educators, Counselors and Allied Workers Union's first annual general meeting this morning. The minister noting that they are currently trying to pinpoint what needs to be addressed and amended. Our Simone Davis was there and she is joining us live with the details.
That's right, Ramiko. The Education Minister revealing some of the government's plans to address the education crisis in the country that came as a result of the global COVID-19 pandemic, calling it one of the most difficult times in our nation's history. During her address at Beckwoo's premier annual meeting this morning, Hannah Martin acknowledging the inconsistencies within the education system and the decline in students' attendance and grades following the many adjustments and accommodations that transpired during the pandemic.
What we are facing is the biggest, most serious crisis this nation has ever seen in education, and the implications are daunting. The statistics globally show a dilemma common to almost every country, including our own. The large and economically powerful nations face severe challenges of their own, brought about by school closures for extended periods of time and prolonged hours and hours and hours of virtual learning. You can well imagine then what it means for a country such as ours.
She says the government has conducted several assessments within the education system to pinpoint exactly what needs to be addressed and amended. She notes that those assessments reveal that over the past 2 years, there have been massive learning loss and some degree of psychological issues developed in students.
All of the research globally is showing that school closures and prolonged remote learning has had a seriously negative effect on learning and the psychological health of children. We know that many children have simply dropped out of school over the last 2 years, and the numbers are in the thousands. And many of those who have remained very likely have suffered acute learning loss.
While emphasizing that this has been the most serious crisis in education for this generation, Hannah Martin says students need intensive support and assures that the government is committed to responding quickly to rescue the nation's children through the education system.
We now have a process underway, as I've spoken to frequently, leading to an RFP to identify a platform which will measure learning loss of every child beginning in September, and further develop accelerated learning modules to help our children catch up. Most recently, the ministry convened a caucus comprising its own professionals in guidance counseling and school psychology, along with the Department of Public Health, the Ministry of Social Services, the University of the Bahamas, and the Bahamas Association of Psychologists to discuss this worrying issue and to devise strategies to assess and respond to mental health challenges in our schools.
Hannah Martin also confirming that the government has already secured the funds needed to provide assessment exercises for a career path for teachers. Live in studio for the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Simone Davis. Back to you, Ramiko.
Thank you so much, Simone. The Minister of Educational, Technical and Vocational Training, Glennis Hannah Martin, giving an update on the recent announcement of a 14-day delay in the distribution of report cards in the public school system. The delay is said to be due to some technical challenges related to the generation of report cards within the ministry's learning management system. The Education Minister telling ZNS News today that her ministry brought in a foreign technical expert to rectify those issues.
I had to bring in a technical person to assist us with this, and they were able to iron out the issue. So it's, you know, certainly it's more than a lesson going forward, because, you know, it's something that I did not anticipate, nor did I appreciate. But it is, you know, it is what it is, and we've worked around the clock basically to correct the issue.
Hannah Martin says her ministry is working to ensure that all issues are rectified properly so that these problems are rectified once and for all. She notes that the system should be up and running shortly, so report cards may be available sooner than expected.
I am hearing that very, very shortly we will begin the printing of report cards. We initially said 2 weeks, but my advice is that we will not be going that extent of time.
Now, the Education Minister reiterating that the ministry will provide specific details on the date and hours of report card collection soon, and that parents will have the option to receive report cards either by hard copy or digitally. Well, in other news, today was orientation day for the young persons who have signed up for the Grand Bahamas Summer Youth Employment Program. An official ceremony taking place at the Grand Lucayan Hotel. The youngsters getting some advice as they prepare to enter the job market next week. Minister for Grand Bahama, the Honorable Ginger Moxie, telling the youngsters to make the best of this opportunity.
As the young leaders of today and tomorrow, you have the passion and energy to make a difference. And we are counting on you. Young people, big things are on the horizon for Grand Bahama. And this Davis Cooper administration is working diligently to bring the grand back to our beloved island. The government is committed to creating initiatives that partner with young Bahamians with bright minds like you to ensure that you have a seat at the table and are involved in the economic development of our nation.
Now, the students will be placed at various agencies in the public service. Senior Executive Officer in the Department of Public Service, Tertania Miller, also giving some helpful tips to the young job seekers.
Attendance and punctuality is very important. You must give an honest day's work for an honest day's pay. Summer students, use this opportunity as a guideline for your future career path. Always conduct yourself with an attitude of professionalism and serve with a spirit of excellence. At the end of this program, your evaluation will speak for you, whether positive or negative. This will determine how you perform your duties. In conclusion, do your best. Learn new ideas, enjoy this experience, and make the best of this opportunity.
Meantime, Minister Moxie also telling the youngsters about an annual completion launching this summer, where a $50,000 award will be given to the best app developed by Bahamians under 25. Well, the Ministry of Transport and Housing are continuing their mission to modernize the transportation sector in the country. In their latest press release, an update on their efforts to end the renting of taxi plates had been given, where it was announced that the process for dormant and rented plates to be recalled has begun. Tonight, we have reactions from local taxi drivers in the industry. Shane Stubbs has more.
With the process of recalling rented and dormant taxi plates underway, some taxi drivers are speaking out in agreement, as it's been a vexing issue for years. With the ministry in the process of upgrading the transportation sector, Grand Bahama Taxi Union President Harold Curry gives his understanding of the process.
I don't think they're trying to really take nothing from the body, not take their place from them or anything. They're all trying to do is upgrade the system and to make sure that those persons who in the business, they can have their own franchise to move forward. What the government is looking into, a lot of people who died and they had the franchise and they was on the road for 10, 20 years. And those plates they're really targeting. Because if you're not going to use it, they'll take it and give it to somebody who want to use it. So that's what they're really targeting. Those people who had the franchise and had them off the road for many, many years and doing nothing with it and just keeping it there, they're going to pull them in and then they're going to give them to those people who really, really need it, who in the system and who need it for them and their family.
For some taxi drivers on the island, the latest exercise is something they feel is long overdue.
I disagree with people renting plates for other people and making $5,200 a year off for other people for no reason, and they ain't putting a dime into it.
We've got people who own franchises that doesn't have a public service license. So I mean, to qualify to own a taxi, I think you should at least have a public service license. We got some people who can't even drive a car with a public service license. It was a complete abuse, and it needs to be regulated. Now, with regards to renting, like I said earlier, that should stop. Should never happen.
That's something they should have done a long time ago, because they haven't given out a franchise from 1992. From 1992 to now, there's been so many people that came out of the business, and they haven't reissued those plates already. But I understand that they're reissuing the dormant plates. They're going to reissue the dormant plates. But I feel like everybody that drives a taxi should own a franchise. And there's so many people just renting franchises, and that's been going on from the time I was on the line 30 years ago.
As someone who currently leases a plate, Philip Outen says the policy that reissued plates being controlled by the ones who operate the business is a fair one.
I hear them talking about waiting until tourism business pick up. It doesn't make too much of sense because we still have to find money to pay those folks that we are renting for, whether there is business or not. You understand? So it's much difficult for us who are now renting. It's difficult for us to pay where there is no tourists. So why not give us the opportunity to own our plate where we don't have to worry about paying them?
The ministry says consultations were held with numerous stakeholders with a view of achieving the government's goals of modernizing transportation. For the Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition, I'm Shane Stubbs.
Disturbing news reaching our newsroom of an alleged child abduction taking place in the Freeport area early this morning. Sources say that a man broke into a home and woke up a 9-year-old girl. Further, it is alleged that the assailant led the young girl to the outside of the home. It is uncertain right now as to whether the child was harmed in any way. Now it is understood that a suspect was taken into custody and is assisting with the investigation. This is a developing story that we will continue to follow. Well, the Grand Bahama family is not happy with the recent decision made by the Court of Appeal reducing the sentence of the man convicted of causing the death of their loved one following a traffic accident a year ago. Family members staging a demonstration in the Southern District where many gathered holding signs calling for justice for Yule Marsh. Family members and friends of a motorcyclist who died as a result of a traffic accident last year staging a protest and demanding answers. The man convicted of his killing had his sentence reduced from nearly 3 years to 4 months, as the Court of Appeal deemed the sentence unduly severe. Now the mother of the victim is heartbroken as she says the man responsible for her son's death is roaming the streets while her son is in the grave.
He didn't come one day to say, well, I was the person who knocked him down. And not even offer me $1 to say to bury my son. So come on, and he walking about the street like a free man and my son in the grave? Come on.
On July 25, 2021, an accident occurring on East Sunrise Highway resulted in the death of 27-year-old Yule Marsh. Reports indicate that the driver of a vehicle made a right turn onto the highway but failed to ascertain his way clear, which resulted in a collision with the motorcyclist. Mother of the traffic victim, Iva Russell, says she wants justice for her son and notes that his life is worth more than 4 months imprisonment.
Come on, man. I just can't let my son go down. He wasn't no bad person for him to just to go just like that. No.
Now, while she has not seen the person responsible for her son's death, the sobbing mother says what is most disheartening is that she had no knowledge of the court date or the decision made by the Court of Appeal. In fact, she was not even aware that the man convicted was no longer imprisoned.
I heard it on the street. I heard in the street that he was walking around the street, and not just now. From since the other day, he was out on the street long time ago. They say he going to court, and he going to court for I'm going to jail for 4 months. He was out 4 months time. He was out at least for 3 or 4 months ago.
On December 22, 2021, the driver of the vehicle was sentenced to 32 months imprisonment, and after serving nearly 3 months, he filed an appeal. A ruling handed down by the appellate court in March of 2022 stated that the police officer's report did not disclose, in the court's view, any indication that the man responsible for the death of Yule Marsh drove in a manner dangerous to the public. It further stated that there were no allegations of speeding or driving in a reckless manner, and in the court's view, the incident was more consistent with careless driving. Given the circumstances, the Court of Appeal determined to retract the 32-month sentence imposed and substitute a sentence of 4 months effective from the date of conviction. The driver was released immediately. The decision does not sit well with Marsh's family and close friends.
Justice, man. You just knock off your bike like a dog, you know what I mean? And 4 months? Come on, man.
I feel like these drivers are supposed to be looking left, right, front and back when driving, especially for bikes, for motorcyclists, all that.
We are still hurting. The type of person Yule was. He was honest, he was loving, he was caring, and he did not deserve that.
On the day of the protest, those close to Marsh were clothed in T-shirts that read "The Good Die Young" and "Justice for Yule Marsh." They also held posters that read, "I did not deserve this, and is my life worth only 4 months?" For the Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition, I'm Ramiko Knowles. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Stay tuned, there's more when we come back.
Come on down to Dolly Madison and get your hurricane supplies before it's too late. Don't let supply chain issues cause you to miss out on hurricane supplies you need. Come on down. Now.
Come on down to Superb Water Depot and Snacks. We sell and we deliver ice, drinks, purified water, alkaline water, and a variety of snacks. Your one-stop shop for all your snacks and water needs. Contact 242-820-2482. We are located number 2 La France Plaza, Peachtree Street. Purified water, 50 cents a gallon. Alkaline water, 80 cents a gallon. Come on now, you can't beat that. We offer superb quality, superb taste, and superb service. Monday to Saturday, 8 to 8, and Sundays, 8 to 2. Superb Water Depot and Snacks. Come on down.
Innovation Small Business Fridays, coming up soon. An online event dedicated to Caribbean small business owners and entrepreneurs with everything they need to pivot to success, transform their business, and multiply their growth. With exciting keynotes by Kadeen Mayers and Mark Farrell and interactive workshops, learn how to make money, gain digital know-how, and pitch your exciting new business idea. Don't miss this opportunity. We'll be giving away $15,000 in cash and prizes. Register now at flowbusiness.co/events.
Pizza Hut Freeport is bringing you savings this summer. Order a large one-topping pizza with a 2-liter Coke, along with our newest dessert, the pineapple tart, for just $22.50, VAT inclusive. A delicious pizza, 2-liter Coke, and a pineapple tart to satisfy your sweet tooth. Available for carry-out, delivery, and curbside to go. Call us at 352-9191 downtown or 373-8500 East Sunrise Highway. Pizza Hut Freeport, for the love of pizza.
Are you ready to cool down the summer heat? Then visit Bethel's Air Conditioning and Refrigeration at number 3 Milton Street for energy-efficient AC units, or phone 602-5467 for service and installation.
This is where it happens. Those moments that impact our lives. Giving you the information that you need this hurricane season. Wherever there is news, we're there.
They're trying to push rich on me. They want to push rich on me. They don't care in front of company.
The King of the North is back. Howard's 104.5 FM.
The Ministry of Health is working to ensure the safety of the Bahamian people. Help us minimize the risk that coronavirus poses to citizens, residents, and visitors by following these 5 easy steps. Step 1. Wet your hands with clean water. Apply soap and lather for 20 seconds by rubbing them together. Include the top of your hands between your fingers and under your fingernails. Rinse your hands under clean water, then dry them with a paper towel or air dry them. Remember to wash your hands before and after eating, preparing a meal, changing a diaper, or caring for the sick, and always after using the bathroom, touching money, shaking hands, or taking out the trash. Step 2. Cough and sneeze in your elbow or upper sleeve, not in your hands, not in the air. Or you can cover your nose and mouth with a tissue when you cough or sneeze. Put your used tissue in the trash bin when you're finished. Remember to wash your hands with soap and clean water after you cough or sneeze. Also, remember never to spit on the ground, roads, or in open spaces. Step 3. Ensure that raw meat is properly handled and cooked thoroughly. Step 4. Avoid sharing drinking glasses, eating utensils like spoons and forks, or sharing personal items such as toothbrushes and towels. Germs can live on surfaces we touch, so wipe and disinfect surfaces where germs can live, and keep your surroundings clean. Step 5. Avoid close contact with anyone showing symptoms of respiratory illness, such as coughing or sneezing. Should you or anyone you know feel that you have been exposed to the coronavirus, contact the surveillance unit of the Ministry of Health
immediately. To reach us, call 502-4776, 502-4790, or 502-4737. We want Bahamians and those that live with and visit us to remain safe from the coronavirus. To do this, we need the help of each and every one of you to follow the simple steps we have shared. Let's stay safe, Bahamas.
Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
And welcome back. With the summer months ahead, safety in the water is important as outdoor activities will increase. Our ZNS News team speaking with Basra Interim Chairman Captain Devon Archer, who has tips for water lovers as they set out to have some fun in the sun.
You want to have the proper equipment. You have VHF radios, stationary or handheld, GPS, stationary or handheld. You want to have your lights working, distress signals, flares, or EPIRBs, or both. And most importantly, you want to have enough life jackets on board for all persons that are out with you. And a float plan. Always let somebody know where you're going, what time you expect it back, how many people are on board, the color of the boat, picture of the boat, the type of boat, what do you have, what engines, and carry with you, always carry with you a jacket. The jacket is important in the event it rains, or unfortunately you're stuck at sea overnight. It does get cool in the evenings out there, and you need to keep warm, stay away from hypothermia.
In addition to having proper equipment, VHS radios, and GPS, Captain Archer adds a few more items to the list.
For safety on the jet skis, you always want to at least travel with a buddy, and everybody should have a life jacket on. And that life jacket is not for style, so it needs to be zipped or buttoned. And you want to have that safety key attached to your person. If you fall off, the jet ski shuts off, and you can swim back and get on board.
Now you can follow Basra Grand Bahama on Facebook as they inform the public on safety tips and more while at sea. Well, give the gift of life. That's the theme of the Blood Donor Society of Grand Bahama as they celebrated National Blood Donors Day. In traditional fashion, the celebration kicked off with a national blood drive on the Rand Memorial Hospital's grounds. Laboratory manager at Grand Bahama Health Services, Claudia Glinton, revealing that a few local groups supported the initiative, but she hopes to see greater community response in the future.
The event was actually pretty slow today. We had about 6 donors that have come in so far, but they've all been able to give. Every unit we can get is appreciated, so we're happy that we had those donors come in. The fraternity came out and they were able to give, and then we also had some students from the new medical school who came by. They saw the advertisement and they came by, so we had 3 of them, so they were able to give. So the message is getting out there slowly. The community is not responding as we wish they would, but any response we appreciate.
Clinton says there is a constant need for blood as there are different categories of people who require it. In essence, she is throwing out a charge for persons to donate regularly as she assures that a little goes a long way.
We have so many patients that need blood. We're talking about chronically ill patients, patients who are anemic, patients who have surgeries pending and need blood. There are patients who have catastrophic illnesses, cancers, there's a car accident, there's a boating accident, sometimes just a slip and fall depending on the age of the person, they require blood. So there are so many different categories of people, and there's always a continuous need for blood. And that's why we ask people not just to come when it's an emergency, when that urgent message goes out on Facebook or on Instagram. If we get a continuous supply of people, if we can get 20 persons to come in every month, imagine just 20 people in all of Grand Bahama, we can maintain a good blood supply in the blood bank.
Your Monday evening sports report is up next with Jay Philippe.
Good evening, I'm Jay Philippe, and welcome to Sports. Well, it was a busy weekend in sports, but just in case you missed it, we've got you covered. The Immigration one-pitch softball tournament played this past weekend at the Grand Bahamas Sports Complex.
All of the teams are out, the police, TV Power, Customs, us, Port Authority, all the teams are out. Everyone's having fun.
After the first game, the Grand Bahama Power Company was sitting in the driver's seat.
I feel good. We was a little shaken up in the first 1 or 2 innings, but as the game progresses, we get ourselves together, and then at the end of the game, we came up with the victory.
Even the Royal Bahamas Police Force thought they had a chance.
It's all about camaraderie, and you know what I mean, as a force, we want to interact with the public along with our fellow law enforcement agencies. So it's one coming together, having some fun at the same time, sharing ideas.
But after a long day of games on the park, Team Kellys walked away as the overall champs this time around, taking down the Public Hospital Authority. Team Immigration finished the tournament in 3rd place. Switching gears now, the Girls Soccer Club wrapped up its annual soccer camp at the YMCA soccer field on the weekend. College player Gabrielle Sims and high school standout Phoebe Wilson came back to lend a hand.
It was a learning experience, obviously, like seeing the different level of play and just like having transition of being on my own and like adjusting to school, college life. Like it was honestly new for me, but I mean, thank God I handled it.
The speed of play is very fast. It's like hard to get used to, but it's really good. It's good playing here too, but it's just over there. It's just like a good level to play. Coming back here is really good. I love coming back here. I love all the coaches and players here. Giving back is I just like giving back because they've done so much to me to help me get to where I am now. It feels good to give back.
From the field to the track, a number of athletes from Grand Bahama competed at the B3A's Nationals in New Providence on the weekend. Zion Bradford captured gold in the under-13 boys 200 meters, 400, and also long jump. Also, Robert Stewart got gold in the under-17 boys 110 hurdles and long jump. And finally, in sports results from the Abaco Basketball Association Championship Series in under-16 play, the high-flying ballers defeated the Royals 38-26 to win the best of 3 series 2-0. Shamar Davis scored 9 points to lead the high-flying ballers. He was also named Most Valuable Player. And that's a quick check on sports. I'm Jay Philippe. Be blessed.
The Grand Bahama Port Authority Community Talk Expo is back. Join them this Tuesday, June 28th from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the City of Life, formerly the Bowling Alley.
The Pro-cathedral of Christ the King, celebrating 60 years of proclaiming Christ as King and sharing him with others. At a meeting on May 1962, it was agreed that Christ the King should become an independent parish. The parish family was very small and made up mostly of expatriates. As more and more Bahamians moved to Freeport to live and work, the makeup of worshippers changed. The parish family grew, and it became necessary to construct a church hall to host meetings. Under the guidance of Mr. Peter Andrews, the first church hall was built and dedicated on November 20th, 1966. It was named St. Jude's Hall to commemorate the old church at Smith's Point, which had been torn down. My name is Amy Franks, and this has been an historical moment brought to you by the Pro-cathedral of Christ the King.
Island Bedding is the Bahamas' leading manufacturer in mattress sets. But did you know we also carry top quality products like pillows, comforters, sheets, and much more. Our furniture line is also expanding to meet the needs of those rebuilding. We have bedroom sets, sofa beds, recliners, accent pieces, and so much more. Come and experience Island Bedding today, where everybody deserves their own island.
Breaking news, you want seafood straight from the sea to the plate. Garnet fresh conch and seafood. Snappers, groupers, conch straight out of the shell. You want crayfish, lobster, crab meat, crab legs, salmon, mussels. You want bait, ballyhoo, etc. Then Chumbucket is your best bet. Located Fish Market, Goombay Park, and at the Agora Plaza.
Third Dimension on Yellow Pine Street
introduces its new home improvement center. Step into our brand new fully stocked showroom for the latest in doors, tiles, housewares, kitchenwares, bathwares, vanities, power tools, electrical, and plumbing supplies. So stop by our showroom to view our full range of products or call the Home Advisor hotline at 602-0935 today. We are your home advisors.
If you're thinking of investing in Grand Bahama or any other island, contact Bahama Island Properties for all of your real estate services. Visit their office in the Port Lakaya Marketplace, their website bahamaislandproperties.com, or call them at 374-7653. Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Ian Bodie Sr., you are our Facebook friend of the day, and we want to say thank you so much for watching. And that concludes the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. On behalf of the entire news team here in the North, thank you so much for tuning in. We do ask that you stay tuned as the Bahamas Tonight continues.
Coming up in the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, the Prime Minister returns home inspired. When doing the most good is strained, Coroner's Court challenges, and Kai and the DPM meet. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report starts now.
This portion of the news is brought to you by BTC Super Fast Internet for Less. Best rate, no debate. Sign up today.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Akush Lopinder. Welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Thanks so much for joining us. The Prime Minister back on home soil following a week in Rwanda, where he attended the 26th Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting held under the theme Delivering a Common Future, Connecting, Innovating, and Transforming. More than 5,000 delegates gathered to discuss crucial issues impacting the Commonwealth. Desmond Saunders joins us live in studio with details from the Prime Minister's press briefing at the Lyndon Pinling International Airport earlier this afternoon. Good evening, Desmond.
Well, good evening, Makusla, and good evening, Bahamas. Prime Minister, the Honorable Philip Davis, and his delegation arriving at the Lyndon Pinling International Airport shortly after 3 this afternoon, following high-level talks and meetings with international and regional leaders at the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting in Kigali, Rwanda. From all accounts, the nation's chief says it was a mission well accomplished.
I'm happy to report that our international efforts are bearing fruit. Our voice is being heard. Other countries want to strengthen their relationship with us. Other world leaders and business people want to invest in us. And international organizations want to help us. We are at an inflection point, a moment when we can see our fortunes changing. We are now in the kinds of discussions where we can not only make our needs known, but have our requests honored.
Change and funding, a key focus at this year's summit. The Prime Minister reiterating the plea for action to combat climate change. Davis says he's pleased his cries were heard and that the support to protect the Bahamas against the impact of climate change is yielding results.
We'll be able to say more about the specific offers of funding and support that we have received. In terms of the big picture, there's still a way to go before the polluting countries fulfill their stated obligations. But slowly and surely, the Bahamas is starting to benefit. We settled formal diplomatic relations with our host, Rwanda, and also with Tuvalu and Gabon. We are grateful to the President of Rwanda, who conferred special courtesies upon us. On the first day we were there, we were honored when he invited me to accompany him into the opening session and referred to the Bahamas as his special guest.
New healthcare challenges securing energy supplies. The rights and welfare of young women and young people were also highlighted.
I was proud to see the Office of the Spouse so prominently engaged in the women's forums. Issues, especially affecting women in the Bahamas, were well represented, from ways to better and fairer employment to dealing with issues of gender-based violence. In our meetings with the President of Botswana, we agreed to mutually support each other by them helping us to develop our livestock industry and us offering them support again in developing their tourism product.
Well, Makusla, perhaps the most riveting moment for the nation's chief was his visit to a memorial in Kilgali, where he paid tribute to the millions who died in the genocide there 28 years ago. A statement on the outcome of CHOGM has been issued. Back here at home, the Prime Minister says his team has worked hard, productively, and well on behalf of the Bahamian people. Reporting live in studio for the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Desmond Saunders. Back to you, Makusla.
Well, thanks, Desmond. The Prime Minister also today commenting on other issues of national interest, among them painstaking prices at the pumps. Prime Minister Davis admitting that energy security dominated talks at both CHOGM in Rwanda and the recent Summit of the Americas in California. He assures that the Caribbean has made strong representation to the United States to lift its sanctions on Venezuela, one of the world's major oil producers.
From the Summit of America, so you would have noted since then, the Americans have allowed Venezuela to export to the European Union. So the next step now is to deal with our situation here in the Caribbean. And hopefully, we just have to follow through on that. We have to deal with that this weekend in Suriname. That's high on the agenda is energy security and having the sanctions to respect. Because once the valve is released for Venezuela to provide fuel, we'll see a very significant downward trend on the cost of fuel.
Then there's the National Insurance Board Fund. The Prime Minister fielding questions on a recent report highlighting the Social Security Agency's finances.
I have not seen the latest report, not that I'm surprised by it, but upon reviewing it and having regard to all of the other initiatives that we have in growing the economy and seeking other means of revenues for the country, we'll take that into account to determine what best and how best to deal with the national insurance issue.
Well, now that CHOGM has ended, Prime Minister Davis will leave the country in just a few days to join his regional counterparts at the 43rd meeting of the Conference of Heads of Government of the Caribbean Community, or CARICOM, set for Paramaribo, Suriname, July 3rd through the 5th. Now, according to a CARICOM release, the conference agenda comprises follow-up discussions on the Agri-Investment Forum and Expo held in Georgetown, Guyana in May, COVID-19's impact on the region, implementing CARICOM's Single Market and Economy, or CSME, climate change and climate financing. Prime Minister Davis will assume the 6-month chairmanship of the Conference of the Caribbean Community on January 1st, 2023, and the Bahamas will host the organization's 34th intersessional meeting in February. Meantime, there's now a way to monitor and track climate and disaster-related expenditures in the national budget. You see, the Ministry of Finance, with help from the World Bank, has published the first annual climate spending report. In it, you'd find data on climate change-relevant spending, enabling the government to make informed decisions and also prioritize climate and disaster investments. For instance, the report will inform the government about the amount of expenditure allocated under both the recurrent and capital budgets to adequately address the effects of climate change and mitigate against future impact. Further, climate and disaster relevant expenditure will also gauge the impact of targeted climate spending on climate and disaster resilience. The report also strengthens accountability and transparency. Also making national news tonight, the rising cost of goods and services leaving no one, or entity for that matter, untouched. Officials at the Salvation Army tell us how they're being impacted, even as the needs of the public become more complex. Cleopatra Murphy has the details.
The Salvation Army is experiencing the pinch of inflation, with the charitable organization's Community Relations Associate Melanie Coakley admitting that the cost of grocery to supply residents on its food parcel program alone has jumped 20% in recent months. Coupled with global supply chain challenges, she says it's all having an impact on the nonprofit.
When you're thinking about a grocery bag that you're giving to a family, on average, we are averaging 4 persons in a household. Bearing in mind, once again, some items we just cannot find. We haven't found some items from the beginning of the year. And so we're shopping around to different wholesalers, seeing what else we could add to the bag to supplement for that. But sometimes that still is a challenge, too, for us, because they don't have it. And until they get it, then we can give it. So sometimes it slows down the process in terms of, okay, we're serving 3 times this week. We may only be able to serve twice this week because we're still waiting on an item to be put in the bag.
Coakley says the agency has been forced to become creative in addressing the needs of the public. On average, the Salvation Army serves 80 to 100 meals daily, 5 days a week, and the cost of meat alone comes up to more than $1,000 a month. She says nothing is served they won't eat themselves. With it now summer, Coakley anticipates that reliance on the daily lunch program will also increase.
Right now, we probably are averaging maybe $5.50 per week. Well, school just closed, so that number could possibly change in another week or so, because now children are fully home since school had closed as of last week Friday. So definitely on a sandwich day, it may increase in terms of what we're giving them, because there's a sandwich, a snack, a water, or a juice, depending on what is available to us.
The Salvation Army representative says donors continue to be the Salvation Army's saving grace, making it possible to feed the public to the extent it does. Coakley and the agency's captain appeal to those who can assist to continue to do so in any way they can.
Monetary is always, that would be the first one we would say that would help us, that goes the furthest, because then we can look at what area is most deficit and then address it. However, if someone we had someone who brings us fresh fruit and vegetables out of their backyard garden, and that goes right into our program.
Without them, we cannot stand. As we need them, they need us. So we call everybody, just come along.
The agency has helped those battling food insecurity in the country for 90 years, and Coakley says it will continue to do so with the help of the community. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Cleopatra Murphy.
Well, still to come, the child abuse hotlines relaunched and removing HIV's stigma. We'll be back after the break.
This portion of the news was brought to you by Sun Oil Limited Shell, fueling journeys that matter.
A lot has changed over the past 60 years, but at Commonwealth Bank, our mission to build lifelong relationships with our clients remains the same. Our customers are more than just a number. Our customers are our family, and together we create banking solutions that fit your unique needs. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
What? Check old girl, boy. You say she getting married? Oh, man, not again.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to join this man's BTC home internet with this woman BTC mobile service in holy matrimony. So they'll pay half the price compared to the other guys.
What's wrong with you? Just let them...
Madam, do you have BTC mobile service?
I do.
Sir, do you have BTC home internet to unite with her mobile service?
I do.
Get all the internet you want at half the price when you bundle your home internet and mobile service.
So, what services do you have?
Me? I have BTC at home and on my phone.
Visit any BTC store to make the switch today.
They say that when it hits you, it hits you. A feeling so strong that it's impossible not to give into. A juicy piece of KFC to feel elevated by the aroma and to free fall into its exciting flavor. Some call it love, attraction, desire. We call it KFC. Ignite your senses with KFC.
was actually born into farming. My grandfather, who is 80 years old, he's a first-generation farmer. 3 generations later, I decided to go into farming. So we do have 2 operating farms at this time, the one in Nassau and the one in Andros. This season, Access Accelerator assisted us in funding our strawberry project here on Andros. With us being able to access the Fish and Farmers Grant, it has actually given us the capital that we needed to start this farming season for our strawberry crop. We do believe that people eating organic food is very important. We want to offer safe food and organic food. Some persons are still shocked that we've been existing for 8 years. Outside of having to come to our website to make purchases, if we can get more of our products to our clients, we'll be happy to do that, and local distribution would help us with that. I can tell you the industry is not attractive for young people. However, if you are passionate about something, you will definitely be able to excel in that area. And at this point for me, it's fun to be a farmer in the Bahamas.
Satisfying to own your own piece of paradise? The most important investment you can make in your life is real estate, and Fidelity has the solution for you. You could become the owner of a home or a lot on any of our beautiful islands. Come and talk to a loan officer and inquire about how you can fund your goals with a loan today. Because we know it means a lot to own a lot. Visit us online at fidelitygroup.com. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, or visit any of our branches, or phone 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 for Freeport. Fidelity, we're good for you.
Of the news is brought to you by Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies Limited. If it's healthcare, it's here.
The Department of Social Services is aware of an incident involving a teenage girl in a bathroom at the Princess Margaret Hospital over the weekend. But Minister of Social Services, the Honorable Obi Wilchcombe, says they are awaiting details from the police before getting involved. Reports on social media suggest the teen was raped while in the bathroom, but officials have yet to confirm exactly what happened. The PHA issuing a statement on Saturday acknowledging an alleged incident involving a minor that occurred on Friday, stating only that the matter had been referred to police for investigation and that it remains committed to delivering safe and quality care to patients and minors. The Minister of Social Services and Urban Development, who addressed the issue on the sidelines of the relaunch of the department's crisis hotline, says the incident raised, among other things, security concerns.
The people and the staff of social service should not have been excluded. It ought to have been done within the framework of governance. Now, having gone there, well, let's look at where we are. It's just a matter of accountability. We can't say it and don't believe it. We have to say it and we have to walk it. So accountability is all the Prime Minister is asking for. He's reached out. He's asked companies to come forward. Let's explain. Ministry of Finance, the Financial Secretary has been asking. Social Service has been asking. And we're hoping that we don't have to go to another step, but certainly the work within the confines of the various ministries, understanding what took place so that we can have a better comprehension and the mistakes made we won't make again.
Meantime, the untimely death of Bella Walker in late 2021 has sparked a change at the Department of Social Services that has, as mentioned earlier, launched a new 24-hour, 3-digit child abuse hotline. Officials at BTC and the department hope the new 711 number will make it easier for children and others facing crisis to remember in a time of need. This in the face of troubling stats. Since 2019 up to June 22nd, the department received 1,447 calls to what started as a child abuse hotline but morphed into one of those facing crisis. Social Services Minister, the Honorable Obi Wilchcombe, says the plans to launch a blitz to create greater awareness.
This announcement today is just but one step in our effort to better legislation, better policy for our young people. Child protection is fundamental in our country. And we intend to, after today's announcement, to cause for a massive marketing program, an information campaign to ensure that every child knows that there is a 711 number, that every child returning to school in the next semester will have with him a little card with the number placed, that in any sort of situation, they're able to reach out.
Acting Deputy Director of the Department of Social Services, Charlamagne Fernander, admits the old 7-digit numbers were difficult to remember and that this way they hope to help more people. BTC CEO Andre Foster says from a corporate social responsibility perspective, they wanted to see what could be done to help the Department of Social Services improve its services.
711 or 711, which is easy to remember, like 242 or 911, etc. 711, so that persons would easily remember how to get in touch with help 24 hours per day. So you have a 24-hour service, 711. And the smallest child can often remember a number like that.
It's targeted for anybody that sees abuse. So, you know, perhaps you are a witness of something, so it kind of reminds you of if you see something, say something. It's the same type of notion. If you see abuse of a child, then you should report it. That's what the number is there for. Completely no cost to the government as far as us hosting that number. Also for anyone that calls it, there's no charge. It's just to make sure that we're protecting the unprotected in our communities.
The Court of Appeal has quashed a $20,000 fine imposed on appellant Keith Higgs and instead reduced the fine to $5,000. Higgs was sentenced to 5 years behind bars for firearm and ammunition offenses and $20,000 for possession of a prohibited weapon or an additional year in prison in default. After hearing from both sides, the panel found that the sentencing court had no discretion to impose a fine, noting that $10,000 is the maximum sum Parliament contemplated for the offense. The court further indicated that the maximum fine ought to be reserved for those cases involving the most egregious breaches of the statute, and that Higgs's case is not one of them. Along the streets, he's known as Frowsy, but to his many relatives, he's Demetrius Brown, the 26-year-old man police want to question in relation to a murder. A wanted poster lists the suspect's complexion as dark brown, his build as slim. Anyone with information on where the police can find Brown should contact the Central Investigation Department at 502-9991 or 2-502-9971 or download the P3 Tips app. Well, the number of new local COVID cases nearly mirroring the number of people fighting the illness in hospital. This based on numbers compiled on the June 26 dashboard, which reflects 46 new infections, 40 on New Providence, 4 on Grand Bahama, and 2 on Abaco. This while hospitalizations are at 42. Sunday also accounting for 683 active cases, 24 recoveries, and 254 RT-PCR tests. Meantime, the Ministry of Health and Wellness continuing efforts to get more people to step forward to know their HIV status. It's with this in mind that staffers from the National HIV Center held an initiative this past weekend to provide free HIV testing. Research manager at the HIV and AIDS Center, Lynette DeVoe, and its prevention education officer, Keith Camp, say while strides are being made to remove the stigma attached to HIV and AIDS, there's still a lot more work to be done.
Positive result, like I said before, no longer death sentence. It's very important for persons to get into care. That means we want them to get on medication. The medication is effective. It works. And then there's a third possible result, which is indeterminate, where we would prefer the persons come back to get another test.
We see more and more acceptance as relates to persons, accepting persons with HIV. There's still a whole lot more work to do, still a whole lot more education to do. But overall, we begin to see a lot more persons are willing to work with people who are HIV positive, are accepting family members who are HIV positive, because they now understand that people can live a long, healthy, productive life. And with education, they now understand transmission when it comes to HIV. And so all of these factors are important.
You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Stay with us.
Health is the greatest gift.
That's where we come in. Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies is a premier distributor of medical equipment, as well as medical and surgical consumables. Our engineers are always on hand, providing top care service that saves lives. We carry a wide selection of over-the-counter and prescription items, IV fluids, and other injections. Our products are state-of-the-art, and our entire team stays on top of cutting-edge technology. With more than 2 decades of dedicated service, Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies continues to be a trendsetter and innovator in healthcare. We have set ourselves apart by truly caring for our customers. We understand the intricacies of healthcare, and we produce spectacular results. We cherish our partnerships and nurture our friendships as we continue on our quest to help everyone maintain that wonderful gift of good health. Find us on 9th Fifth Terrace, Centerville, right in the heart of the medical service epicenter of Nassau, Bahamas.
Throughout our lifetime, we must all make decisions. No matter how we choose, the right one just needs to be made. Like having J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers as your insurance partner. We've been serving the Bahamas for over 100 years. Whether you need home, motor, marine, or commercial insurance, make the right decision. Call 397-2100 or visit jsjohnson.com.
JS Johnson Insurance. Peace of mind.
Now is the time to start living the life you've always dreamed of. Purchase that new car. Consolidate debt. Make your house a home. Or switch your mortgage to lower your monthly payments. And BOB will be with you every step of the way to help you live your very best life. With the lowest consumer loan rates in the country, we are BOB, your bank of solutions.
Tourism today. Bahamas tourism today.
Deputy Prime Minister, the Honorable I. Chester Cooper, along with Ministry of Tourism officials, attended the second Bahamas Yacht Brokers familiarization trip, welcoming over 23 yacht brokers from 8 countries to the island of Exuma.
This is an opportunity for me today to speak with you, not just as the Minister of Tourism, but today, as fate would have it, I happen to be the acting Prime Minister of the Bahamas. And therefore, I want you to understand that when I say you are welcome to the Bahamas, when I say that yachting is important to us, when I say that tourism is important to us, it's coming to you from the very highest office in our country. We want you this week to enjoy everything that Exuma has to offer as only an example of all of the treasures that the Bahamas has to offer. We talk about 16 island destinations. This is indeed just one of them. But truly, I want you to know that you are right now standing in the greatest, most beautiful place on earth. And I want you to know that you will experience the warmth of our people as you travel through the Exumas, much like you experienced the welcome of yachting to the Bahamas during the pandemic period. I'd like to point out that that is a demonstration of our commitment to this industry. And we will continue to support these niches, yachting and boating and diving and fishing. And we hope that with your partnership and support, we will continue to grow and we will continue to help you to facilitate the growth of your businesses and the industry as a whole.
To learn more about the Exuma Yacht Brokers trip, visit tourismtoday.com. I'm Joshua Robbins, and this is Tourism Today.
What? Check old girl, boy. You say she getting married? Oh, man, not again.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to join this man's BTC home internet with this woman BTC mobile service in holy matrimony. So they'll pay half the price compared to the other guys.
What's wrong with you? Just let them...
Madam, do you have BTC mobile service?
I do.
Sir, do you have BTC home internet to unite with her mobile service?
I do.
Get all the internet you want at half the price when you bundle your home internet and mobile service.
So, what services do you have? Me? I have BTC at home and on my phone.
Visit any BTC store to make the switch today.
Join up for life insurance. Secure the ones that you love. Join up with Family Guardian. We offer full protection. Join the family. Join the family. Family Guardian. Protect the ones you love. A friend that you can trust. Family Guardian.
Our free pick-pack delivery service gives everyone in the Family Islands a chance to shop a variety of club products and prices right from home. Simply call or WhatsApp your order to 242-677-7266 or email order@amlfoods.com. A friendly customer service representative is waiting to pick, pack, and deliver your order to the mailboat of your choice. The options are truly endless, and with membership you save even more. So order today and let CostRite pick, pack, and deliver right to you.
I was actually born into farming. My grandfather, who is 80 years old, he's a first-generation farmer. 3 generations later, I decided to go into farming. So we do have 2 operating farms at this time, the one in Nassau and the one in Andros. This season, Access Accelerator assisted us in funding our strawberry project here on Andros. With us being able to access the Fish and Farmers Grant, it has actually given us the capital that we needed to start this farming season for our strawberry crop. We do believe that people eating organic food is very important. We want to offer safe food and organic food. Some persons are still shocked that we've been existing for 8 years. Outside of having to come to our website to make purchases, if we can get more of our products to our clients, we'd be happy to do that, and local distribution would help us with that. I can tell you the industry is not attractive for young people. However, if you are passionate about something, you will definitely be able to excel in that area. And at this point, for me, it's fun to be a farmer in the Bahamas.
Shell Unleaded improves your fuel economy, giving increased miles per gallon, allowing you to do more of what you really want. Special additives used in Shell Unleaded improve your engine's efficiency. So go further with Shell Unleaded. Venture out to beaches, Junkanoo, and festivals and bring home memories that will last a lifetime. Shell, fueling journeys that matter.
Another group of young Bahamians closing one chapter of their lives as they prepare to begin another as the newest graduates of Bahamas Academy. Carla Palmer reports.
Hudson Smith may very well be on course in his chosen career as a full-time musician, now that he has graduated from Bahamas Academy in the 2022 cohort, along with 51 other students. In this graduating class are reportedly future lawyers, doctors, carpenters, chefs, and entrepreneurs. What Bahamas Academy officials say will separate their graduates from others are characteristics of respect, a positive attitude, and a willingness to advance to the next level. Anthony Burrows is Education Director of the South Bahamas Conference of Seventh-day Adventists.
I stand here to congratulate the elite class of 2022 on achieving this important milestone. Bahamas Academy is now saying that you have the skills to make some important decisions. Decisions that will determine your success and the success of our country.
A 1996 graduate of Bahamas Academy, now Senate President, the Honorable Lachelle Adderley, was the keynote speaker who encouraged these future leaders to continue to excel.
Graduates, I implore you to be grateful and never take for granted those who help you to succeed. Whatever your current state, I encourage a steadfast commitment to being a visionary leader, a dreamer of big accomplishments, and hope in a better tomorrow.
Class President-elect Caitlin Forbes spoke on behalf of the graduates.
We, the class of 2022, will hope in a better tomorrow. We will fly, shake ourselves off, and soar towards our dreams and aspirations in order to conquer our fears and embrace the future with full confidence.
The valedictorian award went to Astra Bolin, and Yannick Gibson earned the salutatorian award. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Carla Palmer.
NBA player Kai Jones paying a courtesy call today on the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Tourism. Our Charles Fisher was there and lets us in on what was discussed.
Towering over the Deputy Prime Minister, the 6'8" Charlotte Hornet forward Kai Jones meeting up with the DPM, the Honorable I. Chester Cooper, who joked that he didn't realize how short he was.
I gotta give me something to stand on.
Cooper welcoming Kai home on behalf of the Bahamian people.
Express how proud we are of you, what you've done, what you've achieved, and carrying the Bahamas flag to the world.
Yes, sir.
We've been doing tremendous things in sports, and I think you are the new definition of what we look for.
Right.
And we wish you every success in terms of your development and your career.
Kai also grateful for his family and the Bahamian people for all their support in helping him to get where he is at.
My whole family is just very a high standard, you know what I'm saying? So my mom and my dad, my uncles, they're all very strong-minded people, so they've been programming me since I was really young to be like that and to be the best at whatever I do. And I'm very competitive and very fast too. Brought me up in the church, my grandparents, so all of that, the whole lineage, and then being from this country where the culture is, excellence, Our track athletes do it. I looked up to people like Debbie Ferguson and Shawnee Miller and Chris Brown and all of those guys, and Levi Ansan. So it comes from a number of things. I feel like kids can take inspiration from anything. It's just about your outlook on it. Just look around in this magical country that we live in and you'll get inspired.
And then came this good news from the Minister of Tourism and Aviation.
We have started to develop some relationships with Charlotte. We have announced recently that we're going to have a direct Bahamas Air flight with Charlotte.
Right.
We're now looking at that again, but certainly with you playing there, we can create more linkages, get more tourists to come to the Bahamas.
From Charlotte. Yeah, exactly.
And I hope that you will be able to help us with that when we get on the ground and begin those promotions. Hopefully you can show up. And I look forward to coming to Charlotte and supporting you in one of the games. I think it's going to be magnificent.
Definitely some good news. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Charles Fisher.
So much for soaking up some fun in the sun here in the Bahamas, at least for taping purposes. We're, of course, talking about ABC's long-standing daytime show, The View, which is spending its 25th anniversary at the luxury Bahama Resort, Cable Beach. However, inclement weather led to today's taping being shifted. The View's week-long airing here features musical guests, interviews, and hot topics. The show's moderator, Whoopi Goldberg, says they were long overdue for a vacation. And, well, who does vacations better than the Bahamas? As we head to the break, we'd like to thank all our viewers watching us live on our social media platforms. And just in case you missed the news, be sure to head there to catch up. Stay with us. There's more after the break.
To be the best, world-class athletes depend on a live to stay connected. We are committed to promoting Bahamian excellence locally and on an international stage. With hundreds of thousands of people depending on us, we must be a strong, fast, and flexible network. With speeds as fast as Joanna and plans as flexible as Donald, there's a plan suitable for everyone starting as low as $1 a day. With our Freedom Plan, choose the way you want to be connected with a 1-day or 7-day Freedom Plan. With our 30-day Liberty Plan, choose the right bundle of talk, text, and data. And for postpaid, we've got Liberty bundles loaded with talk, text, data, and even roaming included. Alive's hard-working network was built for hard-working people. No matter your goal, we have a plan that you can depend on. We are Alive.
Time to save with a new perspective, where the focus is on values and principles, and people are just as important as profits. Where we believe in democracy and equality, and your vote counts. Where profits are shared with our members, who are also our owners, to ensure that by working together, we all win. Where education of our members and training our staff are one of our highest priorities. Where we serve our members' needs through continued cooperative initiatives because of our concern for the communities in which we live. Join more than 40,000 Bahamians who have made the smarter choice. Join the movement. Join a credit union. People helping people to help themselves.
After suffering damages due to the impact of Hurricane Dorian, the Cooperstown Primary School in Abaco recently held a soft opening to celebrate the renovations to the school's campus. Minister of Education and Technical and Vocational Training, Glenys Hannah Martin, thanked the donors who contributed to the school's rebuilding efforts.
On behalf of the Bahamian people of this community, we thank you for all that you have done in helping us to get back up on our feet, and for allowing the children of this nation and of this community to begin to resuscitate their spirits, their energies, their intellects, their creative spirits, their humanity that is represented on a school campus. We thank you very much. And as was said earlier, I think it came from the poem, we can't repay you. We cannot. So it's a humble thank you.
What was really important to us is the impact that schools have on our communities. And without rebuilding these schools, our families weren't coming home. So with a wonderful team in Treasure Key, through the Treasure Key Community Foundation, a group of homeowners came together to push forward to actually rebuild a school. I'd like to thank the Treasure Key Community Foundation Chairman, Mr. Barton Trethway, the Executive Committee, and the Subcommittee.
For Ed Talk, I am Denise Pratt.
Want to stay in the know? Subscribe. Text 819-BMOE. That's 819-2663. Remember to like and subscribe to our social media platforms.
Life is better with Rubis Rewards. Just fuel up and swipe for your chance to win free fuel, cash back in our stores, restaurant and store discounts from our partners, plus prizes and surprises. It doesn't get better than this. Your Rubis Reward tag is free at every Rubis service station in New Providence. Get yours today. Rubis, it's just better.
What do you want from a cloud solution? You want flexibility and edge? You want to modernize applications with the ability to deliver new ones with lightning speed. You want an infrastructure that's automated, secure, cost-effective, and scalable. You want to give the end user the freedom they want with the control you need. You can't get all that from just any cloud. You need something better. You need Bahamas Cloud. Contact the experts today at 601-8911 in Nassau or 602-8811 in the Family Islands.
Not much has been said about the much-touted Cotton Bay project pegged for South Eleuthera since its heads of agreement signing back in December 2021. But company officials say they're fully committed to seeing the project through which is said to be on schedule. In fact, they say they've been working diligently through the required processes to push the venture along. That includes selecting and retaining a team of world-class designers and service providers to meet all the requirements necessary to guarantee the project's success. Now, as for what's in the works, Cotton Bay is touted as an ultra-luxury resort and residential development, which, given its scope and complexity, will be done in phases, beginning with planning, design, and pre-construction activities. Following the first stage, officials will move into the construction stage, which is expected to lead to 300 jobs lasting at least 24 months. The final stage involves interior installations, recruitment, and training. Ultimately, it's projected the resort will open in 4 years and, once operational, will employ over 200 Bahamians. Well, still on Eleuthera, the island that's getting the chance to enjoy the Ministry of Tourism's Gombe Summer Festival. Harbour Island residents and visitors can participate in the much-anticipated July 2nd fun-filled family-oriented event.
We're trying to make it a bit different, so we're trying to have as much entertainers as possible. So we're going to have live performances by the 123 Band, the Fanchon, one and only Fanchon, Shine Bahamas. We have the Gombe Dancers. We also have a John Canoe Rush Out by the Bradden All Stars. We have drum performances by little students at the Harbour Island Green School.
Attendees can expect.
When you come, you can expect to have local foods, homemade pastries, down-home music, fun games, watermelon eating contest, sock racing, pineapple eating contest, catch the crabs, and it is free. So you can come on down, bring the family, bring the kids, have a great time, and we're just going to be here to welcome you all.
Well, it's time now for a check on Family Island weather with Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean. Good evening, Basil.
Good evening, Makisha. We are currently under cloudy skies. Temperature at 79 degrees. Relative humidity 78%. Southeast winds at 12 miles per hour. The barometric pressure 1,016.7 millibars. That's 30.03 inches, and the pressure is steady. Temperatures around the islands this evening, they are brought to you by Family Guardian Insurance Company. We're protecting you. 83 degrees in Freeport, Grand Bahama, Green Tool Key, and Marsh Harbour, Abaco, the Berry Islands, 82. Allenstown, Bimini, 84, 81 in Harbour Island. Roxanne, Eleuthera, 82 degrees. Black Point, Exuma, Kemp Space, South Andros, and Fresh Creek and Central Rounders, all reporting 81 degrees. 81's also in Allenstown, Cat Island, San Salvador, and Rum Key, Georgetown, 82 degrees. 81's in Rygat Island, Clarence Sound, Long Island, and Crooked Island. Low warm in Betsy Bay at 85, and that extends into Acklands, Matthew Town, Nagua, 84, and the Turks and Caicos Islands at 86 degrees. And your boating forecast tonight is brought to you by Builders Mall, home of FYP, the Tile King, and the Paint Setter. In the northwestern and central islands tonight, southeast wind speeds around 10 to 15 knots, wave heights 2 to 4 feet, high tide 7:54 this evening. Now for the southeast Bahamas, easterly flow 15 to 20 knots, wave heights 4 to 6 feet. That constitutes a caution flag for the southeast Bahamas tonight. And then tomorrow in the northwestern islands, the winds become southeast once again at 10 to 15 knots, wave heights 2 to 4 feet. High tide tomorrow at 8:06 in the morning, low tide at 2:06 in the afternoon. In the central Bahamas, easterly winds also increasing in speeds 12 to 18 knots, wave heights 3 to 6 feet. So we'll post caution flag for the central Bahamas tomorrow. For the southeast Bahamas, the caution flag will continue as those winds are expected to be southeast at 15 to 20 knots with choppy seas at 4 to 7 feet over the ocean. And as we take you into the middle of the week, Wednesday, easterly winds at 10 to 15 knots for the northwestern islands, wave heights 2 to 4 feet, high tide 8:47 in the morning. That's on Wednesday with a low tide at 2:45 in the afternoon. In the central and southeastern islands, southeast 12 to 18, wave heights 3 to 6 feet. That's going to do it for your boating forecast. It's time now for your international temperatures, and they are brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
Hey, 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 Bahama Rock. Hey, 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 Bahama Rock. Everybody's out there on the dock. They're doing what we call Bahama Rock. Hey, 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 oh yeah, Bahama Rock.
And that's going to do it for your international temperatures, brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. But stay tuned, your extended weather forecast is still ahead.
Everybody's happy, no one's uptight.
The King wants you to take a walk on the tangy side with the all-new Zesty Whopper collection at Burger King Nassau. Enjoy the classic Zesty Whopper with 2 types of cheese, zesty sauce, and crispy onions stacked on 100% flame grilled beef. Or go zesty on our plant-based Whopper and crispy chicken. All 3 are saucy, crunchy, and full of flavor, and only available at Burger King Nassau. Visit any of our 7 locations and enjoy a Zesty Whopper as a combo or as part of the King's Feast at Burger King Nassau, where taste is king.
When you want to save money on your tile supplies, who you gonna call? The Tile King. When you tile your house and you want to look good, who you gonna call? The Tile King.
Visit the new Tile King showroom, which is internationally recognized as the finest tile showroom in the Caribbean, located in the Builders Mall on Wolf Road.
The Tile King. Who you gonna call? The Tile King.
Tiles on everything.
My Gateway is the centralized, safe, secure way to access and pay for government services online. Go to mygateway.gov.bs. Click Login. Register with a government-issued ID like your NIB card. Fill in your personal information exactly as it appears on your ID, including spaces, periods, and dashes. You'll only have to sign up once. Now you're ready to request services on My Gateway. Receive an email confirmation for every request and email alerts when your documents are ready. You must have a valid, government-issued ID in order to collect documents. New services will be added every month. My Gateway is fast, easy, and convenient. For more information, visit mygateway.gov.bs.
AID has everything you need and more to complement your home's decor. Luxurious bamboo bath towels, face towels from $1.25 and bath towels from $5.45. Shower curtains from $2.54 and organizers in stylish finishes. Bath mat sets from $7.27 in a multitude of styles and colors. Bed sheet sets from $9.95 and 7-piece comforter sets from $49.95. Doormats from $1.93 with matching runners and hundreds of area carpets. Sofa covers from $19.95, plain and crushed sheer curtains from $5.25 and thousands of panels to choose from. Blinds from $7.02 and curtain rods from $2.89. Ceramic and porcelain dishes, tablecloths, napkins, placemats, utensils, and more. A wide selection of drinking glasses, including elegant stemware, candle holders, vases, and crystal. Full-size mirrors, decorative pictures, and picture frames. AID, Wolf Road, and the Mall at Marathon open late and on Sundays to serve your decorating needs. AID, all you really need and more.
There's no better day to save than today at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets. Country Barn Corn Flakes, 18-ounce, $2.89. Cardinal Evaporated Milk, 14-ounce, $1.09. First Choice Sugar, 4 pounds, $2.39. Sweet Strawberries, 1 pound, $4.99. Pork chop ends, $2.29 per pound. Better savings today at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
This is ZNS Total Sports. Welcome to your sports, everyone. I'm Amajal Knowles, fresh off his first season as a professional basketball player, one with many highs and lows. Payment NBA player Kai Jones is back home in the 2-4-2. The Charlotte Hornets forward paying a courtesy call this morning. Deputy Prime Minister, the Honorable I. Chester Cooper, as the pair spoke about Kai's rookie season as well as plans for the future. Kai would see limited minutes this year for the Hornets, did not let that deter him, but ultimately channeled that energy, and the results spoke for themselves. Kai would close out the G League season for the Greensboro Swarm, averaging 16 points and just under 10 boards.
I started to perform better because they could feel my confidence, and then I started to perform better. Like I said, it was really a mental thing for me, just programming myself to go out and kill. And once I realized that was my power, I started to do that every day in my life. Even when I work out, it's programmed. I'm going to go out the best workout ever. I'm going to go out the best day ever. I'm going to have the best lift ever. So it's about making the most out of every day. And once I learned that, that's when I started to feel like I was going like this.
While he may not be a part of national team play this summer, Kai says he definitely will put on that jersey in the near future.
We have summer league practice when they're playing the games. I gotta speak to the coaches and the organization about that.
Any future plans to play the national?
Absolutely, yeah. 100%, yeah. We'll be playing with the national. Like next year and the years to come, 100%. But this year, I think because I have summer league, that's what's causing like the conflict in schedule. Once I'm done with this and I get rolling in the pros and I have more flexible schedule in the summertime, I will 100% be playing with the national team.
In baseball news, Lone Depot Park transformed into Bay Street on Saturday for the second edition of the Bahamian Heritage Celebration in Miami, Florida. The celebration centered around Bahamian professional baseball player Jesrado Jazz Chisholm Jr. when he and the Marlins took on the New York Mets on Saturday. The evening was also recognized as Jazz Chisholm Bobblehead Day at the park. The celebration was a collaborative initiative by the Marlins, Bahamas Consul General in Miami, the Ministry of Tourism, Investments, and Aviation, the National Sports Authority, as well as the Bahamas Baseball Association. Chisholm and his Marlins would fall to the Mets 5-3. He spoke about the significance of the event.
I heard everybody in the stands. I heard my grandma. I'm sure I think I saw her do the little wheel thing. Yeah. When I hit a double. All of them were doing it up there when I was looking up there when I did it. So, I mean, it was great today, to have everybody get back home. I feel like a lot of people are more interested in baseball because they know they can have fun with it and just enjoy the game. Unlike when we were younger, nobody really thought of it that way. It was more like a lot of rules in baseball, but now they see that you can go out there and do whatever you want. So they just have fun, and now a lot more kids want to do it too. My grandma made me this crown. I think it's Prince Jazz, the legend has the crown. This is the Haney colors. Got it from my grandma. Shout out to you, Mom.
The Beach Track and Field Nationals wrapping up Saturday evening at the Thomas A. Robinson National Stadium. Several celebrations on the final day, but the highlight of the night going to the women's 200-meter final that would see a hotly contested race between Olympic champion Shawnee Miller-Weibo and elite sprinters Anthony Strawn and Tanya Gaither. Ultimately, it would be Miller-Weibo separating herself in the final 20 meters to take the race in 22.32 seconds. We got up with the second place finisher Anthony Strawn on her performance as well as her season thus far.
It was really great. I had fun competing with Shawnee and the other girls. In the call room, we literally took nothing serious. Tanisha was in there making jokes the whole time, distracting us.
He'll be running out of time.
It was really fun. I enjoyed being home. I enjoyed running with other Bahamians. And I hope that it could happen again really soon.
For B3's president, Jamaica Archer, this weekend served as one of the most competitive nationals in recent memory.
This is perhaps one of the best nationals that we've ever produced in my lifetime. Obviously, we're still working on crowd participation coming out of a COVID environment.
Collecting the gold
but the
medal,
quality
your
of the
national
competition
champion on the 20 girls
is at the
400
highest
meter
level.
hurdles.
We've attracted the best athletes in the world at every age group level. Something that we've never done before. We were especially surprised to see the great performances coming from our youth program. And it is a program that we've been paying particular attention to because it is really the future of track and field. And that's been complemented by the interspersing of really some of the finest performances we've seen over the past 2 days.
Despite some early inclement weather, the flag football playoffs kicking off yesterday at the field of the Thomas A. Robinson Stadium. The highlight of the day being the early game on the women's side between the ground-up Pink Panthers and the Bamboo Shack Lady Jaguars. This one would be a defensive struggle as both teams would fail to muster up any offense. It was looking like the underdog Jaguars would be able to pull off the upset, but in the end, it would be the Panthers advancing on a final touchdown pass in overtime to edge out the 6-zip win.
The entire season, that's both times we played everybody twice, and we played that team 3 times. Today we make 3 times to play that team, but it's an overwhelming feeling as a captain, knowing that I didn't perform to my extent, but the faith and trust I have in my teammates, they did it for us. But I'm just happy. I'm just happy for it.
Well, it was a grueling game. I mean, we didn't expect it to be that close today, but hey, it's playoff. You know, it's any given Sunday when you line up on this field. But I'm proud of my team. I know we fight us. And you can see out here, everybody pulling against us, including the fellas in the stripe. But hey, we ain't watching them. But we can be here, and they know we ain't going nowhere, so we on to the next week.
What you good?
We came out to execute. We may have fallen short in the beginning, but we picked it back up in the end, and we fought to the very end.
Now, the Panthers head coach also offering some strong words to the defending champions.
Wildcats don't want to play us. Hence the reason why they're on the sideline. You were here, you watch them, you hear them. They don't want to play us because they know what's coming. Hey, this is a playoff.
every team is going to come and bring their A game. That team we played today, we beat them twice this season, 33-0, 45-0 today. We had to go to overtime. So it's any given Sunday, and Wildcat don't play us, and we know it.
And that's been a look at sports. A check on weather when we return.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
Hello? Keisha, you something else, boy.
Who this is? Tamika?
You ain't even remember my name? Wow, Dread.
Girl, I've been so busy. You still planning your trip?
Girl, and I can't wait. I right here online booking my car.
You dare planning trip? You vaccinated?
Girl, we had to. We ain't been nowhere since this pandemic started. Girl, and we got a 14-day vacation.
Best vacation ever.
Girl, are you though?
Well, I know you was gonna get the vaccine because you too like travel. When y'all get your vaccine?
Girl, long time. Because you gotta get your first dose, wait, then get your second dose at least 2 weeks before you travel. Johnny get his vaccine and he 12. Even Grammy get hers. Child, and Grammy say she ain't get no money. But I see her hiding that under the mattress.
Child, let me send my list, because I know you going shopping.
Keisha, don't play with me.
Vaccinate today, live tomorrow. A message by PAHO WHO, Canada, and US Aid.
The pandemic has been not so kind to so many people in our community. And when we think about how we fared coming off the pandemic, we're trying to find meaningful ways to continue to give back.
So with the Together platform, it allows people to be able to give back, to make small donation, whether it's $20 or whatever you can give, to be able to give and to help those people who are in need.
She is gospel recording artist Vanessa Clark. She is bedridden, but remains unstoppable, and her faith in God remains unshaken. Her story on Ordinary People, April 6th at 8 p.m. on the ZNS network.
Time now for weather.
In our final look at weather, we have a couple of tropical waves coming off the African coast. You'll see another fresh one there. But this one, which is about 700 miles just to the southwest of the Cape Verde Islands, has about a 20% chance of development over the next 5 days. But the major one, and this one is now approaching the Windward Islands, it's about 700 miles just to the southeast, of the Windward Island. And at 5 o'clock this afternoon, the center of the potential tropical storm 2 was located at 8.6 degrees north, longitude 50.9 degrees west. It is moving towards the west-northwest at around 18 miles per hour, maximum sustained winds at 40 miles per hour. And despite the fact that it's packing tropical storm force winds, it's not yet a tropical storm. And that's because we have not yet found a circulation near the surface. But once that happens, it will become either a tropical depression or a tropical storm. And if it becomes a tropical storm, it will carry the name of Bonnie. Tonight, we're going in for patchy clouds with a thunderstorm developing late, 77 degrees for your low temperature. And tomorrow, it's going to be a mixed bag of clouds and sunshine with passing showers or two, particularly in the afternoon. High temperature around 86 degrees. And your extended weather forecast, off and on pockets of rains right into Wednesday. Things dry out quite nicely on Thursday with the breeze picking up, and that too will bring some comfort as well. And as we head into the weekend, the weather is looking pretty nice, save for Sunday, when we can have a greater potential for showers taking place on Sunday. Makishla.
Well, thanks, Basil. That does it for the Bahamas Tonight. Thank you for continuing to make ZNS your first choice for news and information. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better than ZNS. From all of us here at ZNS, thank you for watching and good night.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Food. It is as essential as air is to breathe and water is to drink. Food is life. But where does our food come from? The Bahamas has more than 2,000 farmers, but it's hardly enough to keep up with our growing population. Or is it? We traveled the nation to find out the answers to the questions everyone is asking. Can we grow enough fruit and vegetables? Can we raise enough sheep, goat, and chickens? Can we catch enough fish to feed a country with almost 400,000 people? Keep watching as we find out.